I'm Colin Walls, and I'm here once again to talk about embedded software. Today I want to think about certification of embedded applications. Now, there are a number of industries where safety in particular is of major concern, and each of those industries has its own set of standards when it comes to certifying that devices and applications are suitable for use. Now, each industry has its own set of specifications, but they have some very common factors. So actually the skills needed and the preparations you need to make for certifying in each of these sectors is pretty similar. Let's think about those factors from the embedded software perspective. Now, firstly, you need to certify the entire application. Well, actually, if you're building a device which requires certification, you need to certify the entire device, including all of the software. So, with that in mind, you need to consider all the components of your software, both the software that you write and anything that you license. So if you're using a real-time operating system, for example, you need to get an operating system which is ready to be certified. You can't get an operating system that's already been certified because you have to certify the entire application. But what you can do is find one with a good track record and that has all the necessary documentation and so forth that enables you to get certification done efficiently. I should mention at this point that certification is quite an expensive process, so therefore anything you can do to make it easier and less time consuming and hence cheaper is a good thing. Second thing, you need all the source code for your application, and that includes any licensed components like the real-time operating system. And it must be readable source code because it needs to be reviewed. Now, some real-time operating systems are supplied with source code automatically. Others, you can get it if you pay money. Others, you can get the source code, but it is not actually readable, so you need to check on that very carefully. Source code can be made unreadable by vendors for IP protection reasons. It's not very logical, but that's the way it is. The last point is quite subtle in that it has a number of nuances, and that is the amount of code you've got affects the cost. So the bigger your application, the more it will cost you to certify because there's just more work to do. The more source code there is, basically. Now, if you can keep the code size down, the number of lines reduced, then you'll reduce the costs. Now, your application code, that's down to you. The operating system, choosing one that's relatively small is going to save you money. There is another subtle approach you can take if you're designing a system for certification, and that is to consider using a multi-core approach. So instead of using a single CPU and certifying the whole lot, you design using multiple processors and you design your system such as that the certified part of the application is quite isolated from the rest, and then you can certify just that part of it. This is called mixed criticality, and it is an approach which has a lot of benefits from building the system more securely actually, but from the cost benefit it reduces the amount that needs to be worked on. So those are the options. Certification is a big subject and something which there are specialist companies particularly who can help you if you need to. But hopefully that gets you in the right direction, and I'll be back again sometime soon to talk about embedded software again. But for today, I'll say bye for now.